TMNT time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, A-Stock, and Mutagen Man. One of the classics, well, especially Mutagen Man, has shown up in so many versions of the TMNT, but one of the most iconic is obviously the cartoon. And A-Stock, again, for A-Stock, I don't even remember him showing up in the show, but the figure, the old school figure I had as a child, I still have actually, is one of my favorite ones. So, getting an updated version of that character, yes please, let's go. Here's Mutagen Man, good old Seymour Guts, that is actually the name. Get out of the frame there. A-Stock stands at about 13.5, almost 14 centimeters to the top of the head, which means we are going up to 5.3, almost 5.4 inches tall. I'm actually gonna do this one by one because I feel like it, and we're starting off with A-Stock stands with to the top of the head 17 centimeters. That means we are going up to 6.6 inches tall for your size comparisons. Here's Jolter, NECA Michelangelo, the SH Figure Arts Krillin, Super 7 Donatello, the original Playmates toy Mutagen Man, as well as Playmates Ace Duck and Darkseid. Did you know that A-Stock officially only showed up for like a millisecond in the TMNT cartoon? So a lot of what they did with the design of the character is probably just whatever they felt like and based on some of the original toy, because really he was just on TV for like 5 seconds as they zapped through it, and that was it. That was the glorious showing of A-Stock in the TMNT cartoon. Now, about the figure though. It looks amazing. It has that cartoon style. I don't have any issues with the NECA lineup. You can take off his pilot hat, which you really have to push it on tightly, I feel like. If you just try to rest it on his face, it tends to fall off, but if you give it a good push, it does work. Now, I don't know what's up with this. I just recently noticed that, but his beak moves around for whatever reason, has the big eyes, the line work, and the gritting teeth really takes me back to the toy line, which had the exact same look. There's some detail in the hair, kind of makes it look like feathers. So we got that much detail, and there's a ton of it in the chest area. It has a very hairy chest. The wings in the back are articulated. The line work on here looks pretty random. It's kind of rough, and I honestly wish they wouldn't have done any line work on it or made it thinner, but still, as it is, it's there. So yay. You got a big rocket in the back with some feathers on it, and he does have a lot of paint flaking around because the paint from the wings is flaking off. And you know, NECA, they paint their joints, that's why they're sometimes a little bit stiff. For the rest of it, you have the cartoon duotone, the darker brown and the lighter brown in the jacket. Line work on it is good for the most part. It's a little bit off there, and you have like small bits and pieces where, you know, you have some yellow spots on the jacket. That will change from figure to figure. A lovely little emblem you got on the side over here with even some stitches, as you can tell. And what the weird thing about it is, like, I think they recently changed it. This 2-pack has been out for a while, but you know, Europe, man, stuff comes out whenever they feel like it. But the elbow joint is like, it looks like that. Well, we get to the articulation in a second, but if you bend it, it just makes this weird angle, which doesn't make any sense. You got 4-fingered hands on both sides, and his hands are kind of like shaped like feathers. That's pretty cool. I don't know if this was intentional. Well, feathers or claws of a bird. You have the belt, which is floaty, not connected anywhere, so that's kind of reminiscent of the toy. There's also had the belt with some grenades you could put in the back, a little pouch, and a storage for the gun. Let me see, let me lift this up. I don't think you can, well, you could take off the belt, you take off the legs and you slide it down. I guess you could get rid of it if you don't like it. Down to the legs, which are wobbly once again. I say that because every time I have a TMNT figure from NECA, the legs are pretty wobbly. I already tightened this one up, you know the trick, guys. If you didn't know, just put just a tiny bit of super glue in it and keep rotating on it. Keep rotating on it, otherwise it will freeze and you will just lose that articulation completely. Down to the feet. I say feet, what do you call feet for ducks? I don't know, but that's what this is. Seymour Guts is quite the interesting specimen, and for 2 reasons. 1, design, and 2, the figure itself. You have the entire kind of fishbowl
going around, and you might think, well, you can't even articulate the hat. We'll get to that in a second. So overall, it's a lot of purple, got some green in it, like Lex Luthor and the Joker, and that's just like a classic color combination, green and purple. Canisters in the back, a little kind of dirty on it, the yellow on it is not that clean, but for the rest of it, I mean, the line work. As I'm saying, it's good for the most part. There might be some slips here and there, but I'm overall very pleased by it. Yellow duotone and the purple as well. And you got some hinges over here because you can take this apart. Actually, let me show you that real quick. So you can take this off, disconnect all the tubes, and then just wriggle this one out. Let's see if I can make it without breaking it. Make it without breaking it. So it is slightly collected down there, and then you have some tabs, especially in the hat and on the side, to just kind of wiggle it out. And then you have the hat, which, so while I'm here, I'm covering the articulation of the hat, so just that remember. So this is on a ball, so you can rotate it around, and his spine, or whatever this is supposed to be, packs into the lower half, and you have another ball in the back. So overall, the articulation of the hat is not great, but if you don't connect it in the lower half, I guess you get a little bit more out of it, but obviously it's kind of trapped in the purple case. So for the rest of the figure, you got some dots, and he's pretty muscly also. He's pretty small, but thick and muscly. And down to his boots. Well, call it a boot, call it whatever it is. This one is pretty blocked because of the design, but there's not really much you can do about it. I also do have to mention that the paint over here is pretty damn rough. Probably because of when you slide this back and forth, or maybe that's just some leftover green that's on there, I don't know. And you got the claw on the other side, and this is weird kind of knee, mutated knee. It looks like his ball sack. His ball sack fell out, and it's just connected to the knee now. For your articulation for Ace Duck, you have a ball in the head and then another one in the neck, so you can combine those two and get some fairly decent results. Also swivels, obviously, on both ends. You got the hinge in the shoulder, moves up and down, rotates around. If it rotates around, but it's stiff as feathery as is. We already had the double hinged elbow joint, which is functional but ugly, and then you have the hand on a hinge which moves back and forth, rotates around. For the wings, same thing, it is on hinges and shaped like it's rounded off at the end, so you can still bring it around all the way and up and down for some posing. And for the chest area, I think it's just on a ball as well. The entire jacket is soft plastic, by the way, so it's just kind of draped over it, so it does move around quite freely. Also has a swivel. And then for the legs, let me move the one I already tightened up. Moves forward as much. You have like the crotch piece, which is soft plastic. It will get into the way a little bit, but it does still overall work. And you can rotate on there. Double hinged knees, goes up all the way. And the foot, as I run into my ring light, the foot is on another hinge, moves back forward. Beautiful pivot. And also have a hole in the foot if you want to use a base. Now obviously the articulation for Mutagen Man is going to be a little bit different, but you still have the hinge on the shoulder, which is obviously limited because it's a big shoulder, and then you have the bicep swivel, double hinged elbow. It's kind of blocked on this side because of the bandage that's going around it. Let me try the other one. It's almost the same, and then for the face, the same thing. It's on a hinge, which is somewhat blocked, but it does work. Swivels. Obviously there's nothing going on in the torso. They could have had a swivel on the lower end over here, but they did not. Leg moves forward, leg moves out to the side. He also has a soft crotch piece, but his one is a lot bigger, and as such, I think like also the molding inside of there, you can tell it's always rotating in an angle, kind of like the old school toy. What a throwback, one that you shouldn't really do. And then the double hinged knees goes up, and for the foot, I guess there's a difference in this one. They still have a pivot, actually pretty nice, but for the rest of it, it barely moves around. Back and forth motion is pretty much non-existent, and for this side you still have the pivot, which is stuck right now. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, okay. These things disconnected. My bad. So you have these handles which are connected to the foot, and as to not limit your articulation or just completely break up the articulation, they made it so they just kind of slide in the holes up there, and it moves around. So I guess if you push it too far, it will disconnect. Forward, also backward movement, and that's all your articulation for the boy.
For the accessories, you do get quite a bit, and let me get over the faces. You got like the angry faces for both guys, which does he have an opening mouth? Yeah, he does have an opening mouth gimmick. The A-Stock does not. The hands for A-Stock, you got like one thumbs up hand, one for holding the gun with the trigger finger, fist hands, and pointy fingers or pointy feathers. Ha ha ha. One bitch slap hand, two holding hands for also his gun with, well, this one has like the trigger finger, the right one has the trigger finger, the other one's a little bit more open, and then two grabby hands, booby grab hands, or choking, or whatever. For Punk Dog, A-Stock, damn, different character, different person. Then we got a film roll, because, and that's, I think is genius, because A-Stock was only in the show on TV for like half a second, so they were like, we're gonna put on a film roll. What else? We're gonna put on a VHS tape. And that's just lovely and super detailed. I'm like, this is cool. This can go into any collection. You have the guns, pew pew. One like yeah, I don't know, a Beretta and a Deagle. I'm just gonna call it like that. And then you have the egg bombs, which he had as the toy. The old school toy had like the egg bombs, which you all can put in the belts. Obviously, you got a canister. Which, I say Muckman. Damn it! Oh my god, my brain is fried. But, Mutagen Man had this canister, which he was supposed to give to Shredder, and Shredder was like, I'm gonna turn you back into a human, and of course he lied, and there's some stuff going on, and maybe some people thought. That is an absolute perfect synopsis of the episode. And then you have this weird looking gun, which has like all kinds of things going on. Super detailed, nice and colorful, and I love it. Final thoughts, and this is not a great execution by NECA. I have some things to add while I was playing around with them, getting them into pose. It's kind of annoying if you move the arms up, this entire piece comes off a little bit. I mean, it's still connected, but if you move the arm up, let's move it too far. So there you go, that's gonna happen. So it does limit your articulation, but I'm not too salty about that. But this plug, this nipple plug is also a little bit loose. So that's one thing. The other thing, the fit for the grenades in his belt also, you know, they're not the tightest, but regardless of that, final thoughts of this 2 set actually, it's amazing. I mean, like, cartoon accuracy, 100%, looks great, articulates well. They really knocked it out of the park with the accessories, I feel like. The only somewhat downside, you could say, well, he's a bit of a brick in terms of articulation, but then again, I appreciate that they added some stuff, like you can actually take off the glass, his glass case, to change the face and also move the head around a little bit. So, you know, sacrifices were made on that front also to retain the original cartoon design and the look, and not like put something stupid in there. They could have done a swivel, would have been easy, but that's about it. Like, all these things are really nitpicky things where I'm not really going too deep into it, and I'm just saying like, oh, should have done that, or ruined. My childhood is ruined. No, it's actually amazing. So, we'll recommend this 2-pack 100%. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever A-Stock and Mutagen Man want.